Well, I'm sorry for standing between you guys and the beach and coffee. Can you guys hear me? Am I good? Very good. I'm Andy Palalis. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at High Tide Inc. Do I have a clicker? Yes. Oh, there I am. All right, here we go. Excuse me. Okay. We are a downstream cannabis retail company in Alberta, as well as an accessories manufacturer in Canada. And what's really exciting about High Tide Inc. is that we've been in business for 10 years. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year of serving cannabis consumers, which is a big deal for us, because over the last 10 years, as a cannabis retailer in Canada with 4 operating locations at the moment, we've come to learn a lot about the people that we serve. We've come to learn about what they like. We've come to learn about what kind of products they're looking for and how they like to be talked to. And that's reflected in the cannabis retail concepts that we've rolled out as of legalization. So what I think you're actually going to get out of my presentation is a unique perspective on what vertically integrated can actually mean. Because while we don't grow cannabis, what we do is we manufacture accessories. And over the last 10 years, our accessories business has turned us into a real company with real revenues. Prior to legalization, our retail stores and our distribution was making about $10 million a year. And after our acquisitions and after the opening of our new cannabis retail stores, we're projecting to do around $23 to $25 million worth of revenue this year. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of our business units and how they work together to create a value chain that is a little bit different from some of the multi-store operators here in America. Here's our disclaimer. It is best in class. You can get it from our deck online if you want to read it. And here are our 6 business units. So each one of our business units is one stop in the value chain that is High Tide. And manufacturing is at our core, manufacturing of smoking accessories. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with smoking accessories, but when I say accessories, I mean bongs, vaporizers, pipes, rolling papers, rolling trays, grinders, dugouts, storage containers. Turns out people who like to smoke cannabis or consume cannabis love gear that goes along with it. And over the last 10 years, we've mastered the art of producing this gear and creating our own proprietary brands and are deploying it through our retail network in a variety of exciting ways. So what's exciting about the retail that we have in our side is that there's also a history there with consumers in Canada, but also in North America, in the United States. Our business started off in 2009 as a $50,000 investment into a retail location downtown Calgary. Since then, it grew, Smoker's Corner, to the largest smoke shop chain in Canada. As of 2017, we were operating 18 locations across the country. We've converted some of those to Canna Cabana. Along the way, we became a Canadian Franchise Association certified organization, which is no small feat. When you're talking about the head shop space, which prior to legalization was a whole lot less sexy in the eyes of proper business units like that. We've also co-founded famous brands and made some interesting acquisitions recently. In addition, we were listed on the CSE as of 2 weeks ago, so you can find us there as HITI. It looks like my presentation's gotten a little bit scrambled by PowerPoint here. That's okay, we're gonna do our best. RGR Canada is the first stop in our value chain. This is our core competency, which is manufacturing of smoking accessories. We have an office in Guangzhou, and we have a great team of folks who have, over the past 10 years, built us a portfolio, designed, built, and deployed a portfolio of about 4,000 SKUs. So today we manufacture 4,000 SKUs of smoking accessories, and that's allowed us to branch off into other proprietary brands, but also celebrity branded accessories, which I'll talk about in just a second. With RGR, however, we've begun to expand, not just distributing to smoke shops and retail stores across the country. Since legalization, the wholesale side of our business has grown by double. And the reason for that is because our warehouse is located in Alberta. Central Alberta and Calgary, we have begun working with literally all of the major retailers in the space. What's fascinating about that is we're a retailer ourselves. And so having this accessory competency has allowed us to begin working with our competition in the field as accessory suppliers. It's also brought opportunities for us to work with licensed producers and other interests in the United States that are looking at branching out and branding their cannabis brand in a way that isn't in the legal states or through traditional methods. This has brought us a partnership with Aurora Cannabis. You guys are probably familiar with Aurora. We recently completed production on all of their smoking accessories. So we're rolling out in distribution their brand of smoking accessories, which are beautiful, professionally packaged goods that you guys will see soon. We're distributing those coast to coast as part of our RGR arrangement. And actually in December, I believe it was, Nick, we closed a round of financing with, an investment with Aurora Cannabis to the tune of $10 million. So, that partnership has been really exciting and important for us. And at the same time, we're continuing to foster new relationships with other LPs to take their brand and bring it to market in a different format. The last thing I'll say about that is, if you're a licensed producer in Canada, your ability to market is pretty limited. The ability for us as retailers to market is also pretty limited. And so, one of the unique approaches we've taken to bringing products to market is using, for example, water pipes and hand pipes and vaporizers, all of which form an enormous percentage of our product mix at retail, aka we know they sell through, to licensed producers or to other marketers so that their brand can be on a cannabis bong or a cannabis pipe when it's being used by consumers in Canada. This is our selection of proprietary brands. We have many more, and we deploy them to, of course, achieve the highest margin possible in all of our retail situations. So if you took RGR, our manufacturing company and distribution business, and added celebrity brands, you would have famous brands. And that's our second business unit, the second half of our manufacturing portfolio. And what famous brands represents is an extremely powerful marketing tool, of course, because our ability to sell our proprietary brands, when coupled with and backed up by our famous brands' products, becomes, how can I put it, attractive to consumers who are into brands like Snoop Dogg, the Trailer Park Boys, Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. We were actually the first cannabis-related company to start working with studio brands like Paramount Pictures in this way. Also work with Kevin Smith, a well-known comedian. You may know Clerks, Mallrats, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, right? We work with Sublime. We've recently signed a deal with Guns N' Roses. We're doing all of the smoking accessories for the Hellboy movie that's coming out with Lionsgate, which, they're dumping $300 million worth of marketing into. And so, Famous Brands has positioned us as a leader in the accessory space. It's a company that's only 2.5 years old, but that has seen us gain market share in the United States, in Europe, in Canada, at a rate that, of course, was unprecedented, and we've seen that route too before as a distributor of products and manufacturer. Our stable of brands. And Famous Brands has also entered into the convenience store and gas market. Our Cheech and Chong and our Trailer Park Boys products are part of Cormorant's portfolio. They're a master distributor to Cush Bar and to some of the other largest convenience store and gas chains in Canada. So, we're multifaceted in our distribution as well when it comes to these products, and they've done very well for us. So the third business unit is the first part of our retail spectrum. This is the company that made us who we are today. We started Smoker's Corner 10 years ago. It grew to one of the largest smoke shop chain in Canada, 18 locations as of 2017. And we've converted a few locations to Canna Cabanas. Folks often ask me, are we going to be converting all of our Smokers location into cannabis retail? And the answer is no, because as a manufacturer of accessories, what's allowed us to realize the profits that we have as High Tide is that we're making manufacturer revenues at Smokers Corner, at retail. So Smokers Corner, when it comes to glass goods, when it comes to the products that we produce, we do also, of course, carry the leading vaporizer brands and other e-liquids, etc. But when it comes to products that we produce, Smokers Corner sells, and of course we distribute those products across Canada. They have a good deal of brand awareness with consumers. Smokers Corner as well, where is it? On average generates about $380,000 per year per location. Obviously Canna Cabana, which is our dispensary concept, our retail branch, does more than that, but All of our stores are highly profitable, and we'll be keeping them in market and converting them as we see fit. Now, if anybody bought a bong online about 15 years ago, you'd probably know who Grass City is. Grass City has been the preeminent retailer of smoking accessories online since about 1999. They're a 23-year-old company that we recently acquired about a month ago. Grass City was a client of ours for a long time. They've supported our famous brands in market, and we had a lot of synergy with that team, great people. Decided that it would make a ton of sense for us to bolster our retail by adding a world-class e-commerce piece. Grass City has 35 million people, 35 million cannabis consumers that have interacted on its forums over the last 20 years. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of mind share. That's a lot of cannabis consumers that have come to the Grass City forums. Either they're new to cannabis, asking questions, right? Looking to share experiences. Maybe they're amateur growers or people looking to get into grow. Maybe they're bong enthusiasts. People from all corners of the cannabis world come to Grass City to discuss cannabis. And over the last 20 years, we've also managed to grow they've also managed to grow the business to about 5.8 million site visits per year. So it's a significant channel. This is important because growing an e-commerce channel, even in the smoking accessories space, is difficult. Without Google ads, without Facebook ads and Instagram ads, you can't easily buy market share as an e-commerce retailer in the smoking accessory space. We've also got 20 years of organic search that allows customers to find themselves to the Grass City page, when looking for things like bongs and many of the popular vaporizer brands, right? What was great about the synergy with Grass City is that they've operated at a high level as a retailer for a long time. But today, because of our own suite of brands, working with Grass City means they can also realize manufacturer margins. They also represent an enormous advertising platform for all of our other brands because of the email list that they have, because of the connections they have with influencers in the space, because, of course, of the forums that they have available to them. We can very easily tap into a group of cannabis consumers, 90% of which are in the United States, and introduce new products to them rapidly. It's a great platform, again, not just from e-commerce, but also for us as a consumer brands company. That brings us to our cannabis retail store network. I wanted to say concept, but it's not a concept anymore. I'm living in a bit of a fever dream as we've opened 4 of these locations over the last 2 months, and in addition have 28 under development right now. Now that's just in Alberta, right? What that makes us is one of the largest footprints of cannabis dispensaries in Canada. And by the end of the year, we will be in in British Columbia. We will be in Ontario. We will be in Saskatchewan. We will have one of the largest footprints of cannabis retail in the country. And what makes Canna Cabana a little bit different is what I alluded to before, which is our understanding of the Canadian cannabis consumer. So, again, at Smoker's Corner, we've been serving cannabis consumers for 10 years. We know who they are. We know what they like to buy. We know how they like to be talked to. And so when we developed Canna Cabana, we wanted to develop a concept that wasn't just an Apple Store knockoff, that wouldn't just look like Pandora and have lots of natural wood. We wanted to create an environment that would connect with the people that we knew had been buying cannabis over the last 10 years. And so we made it playful, we made it sophisticated, and we also made it accessible. Accessible not just for the new cannabis consumer, because in many conversations around the cannabis space, we're having conversations about the yoga mom or the health nut or the new person that's coming into the space. Extremely relevant, and that is a market that's going to mature over the next 2, 3, 4 years. Today, though, and I can say this with full confidence, knowing the people that are walking into Canna Cabana, but also knowing the people that are walking into other cannabis retail stores in Alberta, just through conversations with those retailers as well, that when we called our shot, that the people who were going to be doing shopping with us for cannabis, it was going to be the same person that was buying my bong 6 months ago, right? And so we've created an environment that's, you can see, very accessible for the new cannabis consumer. We focus on education. We focus on creating a beautiful environment that's going to inspire cannabis use that's a little bit more inquisitive than, hey man, what's the highest percentage THC strain do you have, right? Our goal is to always find product fit for our customers, to kind of suss them out and see where they fall on the spectrum and educate them on the strains that we believe will serve them best. And that's paid off. You can take a look at Canna Cabana, its reviews online, what people are saying about us. Don't take my word for it. Go online, take a look at what people are saying about Canna Cabana. It is overwhelmingly positive. And I'd like to think that that's because of all the beautiful work we've done on these great stores, but it's just experience. It's just 10 years of dealing with these customers. I'm going to wrap it up here in just a second. The next concept here that you're going to see is Cush Bar. This is a joint venture with a partner of ours that has incredible competency in the real estate space. It allows us to get into spaces that we wouldn't have access to otherwise. We'll be rolling Cush Bar out in the next couple months. And with Canna Cabana, again, that'll give us the widest footprint possible in Canada over the next year. Here are our financials, and this is year ended 2017. I show this to you guys only to show you that we are a real company with real revenues before legalization. We made $10 million as a retailer and a manufacturer of smoking accessories. We had a positive EBITDA. Hey, we even made a profit. This year, again, we are on pace to do about $23 to $25 million with our recent acquisition and with the Canna Cabana stores rolling out. This is our cap table. You can find it in our deck. Take a look at us on CSE, HITI. If you have any questions about our cap table, you can talk to Nick. This cap table is very simple. We have no alternative share structure. Everybody's buying the same shares. Of course, Nick tells me that we can make this look very different if someone has $20 million that would like to finance our next 5 acquisitions. That's fine as well. Guys, over the last 10 years, we've really benefited from this space prior to it exploding in this way. We love working with cannabis consumers. We love working in the cannabis industry. We're looking forward to the next 10 years. If you want to find out a little bit more about what the accessory space looks like and the opportunities that exist there for us to be working with other providers, et cetera, or if you want to learn a little bit more about cannabis retail in Canada, I'd encourage you to come chat with me or Nick. I'm going to stop getting into the way of the beach and coffee. Thanks, I appreciate it. Have a great day.